The Ford government is introducing new measures today aimed at cracking down on impaired driving. The proposed legislation will impose stiffer penalties for those caught driving under the influence. Lorenda Redekop is live at Queen's Park with more on this. And Lorenda, impaired drivers now risk a lifetime license suspension?
That's right, Dwight. So this would be for impaired drivers when it's a case of impaired driving causing death. And right now, looking at the current legislation, there is no distinction made when it comes to a license suspension between regular impaired driving and whether that case leads to a death. Right now, first conviction equals a 1-year suspension. If there's another conviction within that 10 years, it's suspended for 3 years. Here's more from the transportation minister.
Impaired driving is so preventable. Call a friend, call a taxi, take public transit. It's that easy. You can have a good time and you can plan ahead and you can keep people on the road safe. So we are absolutely continued commit to that. But if you do contravene or break the law, we will come down very hard on you, leading the nation in some of the harshest and strictest convictions upon those who break the law.
Now, there are some other changes. There's one, it does seem pretty minor. It's regarding those ignition interlock devices. So that's for people who are convicted of drunk driving and then they have to install one of those devices in their vehicles. Right now, it is pretty much required. So people can either have it installed for a year or they can choose not to and just say, I'm not going to drive for that time. Now what the change will be is that they will have to have that installed in their vehicle. There is another change that is not for people who are found with their blood alcohol level at 0.08 or higher. It's for that lower level that is still a crime, anywhere between 0.05 and 0.079. So the province is proposing to increase that roadside suspension for those people. Right now, 3 days if it's a first offense, upping that to 7 days, or upping it for the second offense as well.
Lorenda, what reaction now are we hearing to these new penalties, these new stiffer penalties?
Well, MAD Canada, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, they were at the announcement. No surprise, they're fully in favor of this. Metro Morning this morning, they spoke with a criminal defense lawyer, and he's not convinced that this will make much of a difference. And he said there's really no difference as well between impaired driving and whether it causes a death, just that you end up with this really tragic outcome. Here's more from him.
The way, in my opinion, to actually stop this and really hurt my income as a defense lawyer who defends a lot of impaired and over 80 charges is to just put interlocks in every car.
Mm-hmm. And these are, just describe what the interlock device is for those who don't know.
It's a very simple device where you would have to blow into it and blow zero. You could set the reading at 0.04 if you wanted to. Where you blow into the device, and then once it shows that you're not over the limit or you have no alcohol in your system, which is how they're currently set, you can start your car.
And the other part of this bill that will be introduced tomorrow in the House is trying to crack down on auto thefts with those really long license suspensions. He's also critical of that, not convinced that it'll actually make a difference when it comes to people stealing cars. This appears to be a government that does want to show that it's doing something when it comes to both drunk driving as well as auto thefts. It may be in part that they want to be also trying to send a message to the federal government. Both days we heard from the transportation minister with a message for the federal government to do more as well.